if no specific card matters that much, then Desperate Ravings is great.
Yeah, and he has a lot of redundancy. It's a lot of burn spells, some draw, and Snapcaster Mage, Boros Reckoner, Augur turns into more burn spells. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty good in his deck.
Now, Jacob Aldrich, his white weenie deck, has 4 Blind Obedience in the main, and the thing that I really like about this is white weenie traditionally had a major problem, and that problem is the problem of reach, where you're like, okay, well, I knocked you down, but I can't finish you off because I've got no way to go straight to your head. And Blind Obedience turns every card into a straight to the head card.
Yeah, and also he's got a lot of cards that cost 1 or 2 mana, so he's going to be able to activate Extort quite a lot, probably, if he gets Blind Obedience down. He's also, at the top of his curve, got 3 Sublime Archangel, which can really deal a ton of damage out of nowhere. So it's going to be interesting to see. We may see a lot of Adam's burn spells getting pointed at creatures, and I think, as we've seen in the previous matches today, Boros Reckoner is going to be very important on Jacob's side for getting through damage and combating Adam's Reckoners, and on Adam's side for really just being this big speed bump that Jacob is going to be forced to deal with. So we're off, and Jacob has a Champion of the Parish. Adam's got a Thought Scour and another tapped land. In Adam's hand, I think I see a Restoration Angel and a Boros Charm, and a couple more cards that we're not sure about. Jacob plays another Plains. He has 23 Plains in his deck, so we won't be seeing anything else, and a Champion that pumps the first one. And I think we're, going to see it come across for 2 damage.
If you're just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Ben Hayes. You can see Jacob Aldrich with Mono White Weenie on the right, and Adam Prosak of lots of Star City Games live coverage fame, but also if you're a old school Ohio player, you will recognize Adam from having cut his teeth here long ago, and he is playing Flash on the left.
So Adam missed his 3rd land drop and just passed, and from Jacob we're going to see
is that an alternate art Silverblade Paladin?
Something. And an Is It Charm.
Is It Charm kills the Champion of Parish in response to the trigger.
So they're discussing something. He's doing it in response to the trigger. They may be...
I think the discussion might be why the other champion... Okay, no, it's not. Okay. It was just the timing. Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking that Adam was going to be like, no, you didn't do the other trigger, man.
they may have been discussing, did he do it before the Paladin came into play,
yep,
or after he had targeted it with Soulbond?
Yeah, like what was the...
Or, I guess Soulbond doesn't target.
Yeah,
so
what was
anyway.
the combination of the stack? Was it Silverblade, then Champions, or which?
Yeah. Oh, also Adam started this game on 5 cards. So... it's an update. Steam Vents comes into play tapped. And Adam has, I think I see a Snapcaster Mage, the Boros Charm from earlier, and what I think is also a Restoration Angel. We're going to see Desperate Ravings here, probably looking for another land, something to stop this. And random discard. I did this in response to Thalia, so that it wouldn't cost 3 and he would still be able to cast it. Discard Snapcaster Mage, and looks like Adam's going to take some damage here. Seems to be 5. Unless
3, I think they're paired with the Thalia, so I think we're looking at 7. And Adam is practically dead. He's dead on this next swing unless he does something to resist it.
And he has an, I think I see an Augur Bolas to go along with the Boros Charm. And another card that I can't see. Augur comes down, sees a Thought Scour, and what I think was a Skull Crack. And I think we see Adam pass the turn. He can't cast that Thought Scour because it costs 1 extra from Thalia. So Adam really on the ropes here. Although his Augur could potentially trade with Thalia, assuming it's paired with Silverblade Paladin and has double strike. But that would drop Adam dangerously low. So we'll see what Jacob comes out with here. And thinking, attacking with his 3/3 champion, knocking Adam down to 8. And does he have anything else? I think he has a few cards, and we're going to see
Boros
a Boros
Reckoner.
Reckoner.
Now, the question that Jacob was asking is probably, are you the kind of deck that runs Supreme Verdict? Okay, so Paladin was not bonded. That puts Adam a little higher.
Okay. So Paladin not bonded, and also it didn't look like he bound it with Boros Reckoner unless he did that verbally. So I think the Paladin is still unbonded, maybe waiting to possibly be bound to a flying creature. Adam, thinking about how he's going to get through this, has a Restoration Angel that can be a good blocker and potentially get him another card by blinking Augur. And we'll see what Jacob decides to go with. Just attacking with a pair of 3/3s. Angel's going to come down. Adam chooses to do that before blocks, so that his Angel can be one of the blockers.
And we got the whiff there. No Augur cards. And the blocks. Boros Reckoner blocked by the Angel. And Champion of the Parish by Augur of Bolas.
And so we know that Jacob, I believe, doesn't have any instant speed interaction in his deck. So that's going to go ahead and happen.
And the Reckoner goes to the face rather than finishing off the Angel.
Okay, we'll see how that one ends up playing out. He may be wanting to get Adam lower if he has a blind obedience, or if he's looking to possibly draw one. And then War Falcon, which I think is paired. Yep.
And Adam visually pairing them by moving them on top of each other. Best friends forever.
Adam draws a red card and has another Augur and the Boros Charm from earlier. And I cast that Augur and...
Searing Spear. Right? Yeah,
it's a Searing Spear, which...
He scoops it up.
Yep.
Not enough.
So Jacob takes game 1 off a pretty fast start with a couple Champion of the Parish, and Adam mulliganing down to 5 and missing a land drop. Definitely didn't help him against that fast start.
Mulling to 5, it's very hard to win in general. I mean, you can do it, sure, but it's such a deficit because those cards do add up. From the sideboard, Adam is playing against a deck that is certainly far more aggressive than he is. So he's probably going to bring in not cards like Geist of St. Traft, which he might bring in against decks that he is more aggressive than. No, he's going to bring in cards like his Azorius Charm, Pillar of Flame, and Detention Sphere.
Yeah, which will help him a lot, especially the Detention Spheres. I mean, Jacob's deck is almost all 4-ofs, so it's a pretty big potential for that to hit multiple cards, and the Pillars are going to help him a lot against the 1-drops and Champions of the Parish that we saw in that game. What does Jacob have on his side for sideboard options?
Jacob has access to Faith Shield, Nevermore, and Fiend Hunter, as well as Oblivion Ring. Now that is 9 cards. I do not believe all 9 of those cards make sense to bring in, but I would personally like to see him bring in his Faith Shields to act as like a quasi counterspell against the removal that Adam Prosak will try to use at inopportune times.
Yeah, I think Face Shield is going to be a good option. It's going to be interesting to see what Jacob puts Adam on as what he thinks Adam is playing, because Adam really only showed, a couple of Augurs, a Restoration Angel, and that Thought Scour. He may think that Adam is more controlling than he actually is, and he may bring in cards like Nevermore and might even end up naming something Adam doesn't have in that Sphinx's Revelation that's not anywhere in his 75. So we'll see it. The game went pretty quick, but that may have caused Adam to misevaluate, or Jacob to misevaluate what Adam might be running exactly, sort of what variant of blue, white, red flash we're going to see. But I think he will at least bring in the Faith Shield, and we'll see how that works for him if he does choose to bring it in.
If you're just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Ben Hayes. You're watching SCG Live. This is the Star City Games Open Series here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Make sure that you join in the conversation. Hashtag SCGCIN and tweet to us at SCG Live. And that will reach everyone here. Even the print side of our coverage team, Glenn Jones, who is as always bringing you even more coverage over at the other element of things, scglive.com, the print stuff that fills in over there. So make sure that you're following along.
Looks like they're sharing some joke.
A private joke that none of us will be privy to. Now, Adam not only whiffed on his first auger, but he stumbled on mana. Things just did not go his way that game.
Magic players,
yeah, it was a pretty rough game for him. Wasn't really able to come back from an early onslaught of white creatures from Jacob. And they're off. Adam has a Steam Vents untapped, which I guess can represent Thought Scour. Yeah, and we'll see that Thought Scour milling to and drawing a card.
No turn one play for Jacob.
And Adam will play a Sulphur Falls and an Augur.
Adam, one of several undefeated players here who you might recognize. Also Ben Weinberg, Caleb Durward, Alex Benek, Lauren Nolan, Michael Burnett, Marsh Usury.
Jacob on turn 2 just passes again. So that's this is not where the white weenie deck wants to be in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Jacob would have kept that makes sense for this. I mean, a handful of Silverblade Paladins and Fiend Hunters.
And we do
Boros
see a Boros Reckoner. So, that's a good one, but already Adam is has an Augur, a Reckoner of his own, and has really bought quite a bit of time from, not even bought time, just has more time because Jacob wasn't able to develop an early offense. Looks like Adam doesn't have white mana, which could become relevant. Does seem to have a Searing Spear and what I think
double
was a
Searing Spear, I think.
Yeah, looks like double Searing Spear.
4th mana for Jacob.
So, see an attack from the Reckoner.
Adam takes it looks like.
Looks like Adam's pretty content here to race, if that's what Jacob wants to do. We're going to see another Fiend Hunter.
It works.
Which will probably, get taken out by a Searing Spear here.
After the ability has fully resolved, the Reckoner is freed by a Searing Spear at the end of the turn.
And looks like you drew another red card.
Desperate Ravings before? Why not? See if something better happens.
And he'll randomly discard a 3. 3 of Visit Charm.
I like this before combat. It's
it lets him know what his options are before he commits to attacking with those creatures.
Maybe he'll draw a land that's relevant, and there we see another Augur of Bolas.
There's an Izzet Charm, an Azurius Charm, and what looks like another Reckoner, maybe? And he chooses to go with the Izzet Charm, not having access to white mana. And
Jacob Aldrich. I would be unsurprised by cards like Sublime Archangel, Fiend Hunter, or Silverblade Paladin coming down right now. He held onto his hand for some reason, and the Knight of Glory.
Which is going to allow his Reckoner to come across for 4 damage. Another land.
Oh boy.
Another Reckoner. Yeah, Reckoner is pretty tough for Adam to deal with profitably. He has a lot of burn spells, which you don't like casting on Reckoner if you can remove it some other way. And
Adam takes some damage. That is a Hallowed Fountain.
Gains access to white mana, turning on what I think is a Restoration Angel. And attacks with Reckoner.
Jacob takes it.
So Adam's still content to race. Jacob can only, with the creatures on the board, deal 8 this coming turn, so if he does choose to attack, he would leave himself vulnerable to burn spells.
It's a very good point. Like, between Adam's burn spells and the Reckoner of Adams, Jacob is himself very close to death.
Yeah, so I think Adam in this case decided that he may have realized that Jacob probably has powerful spells because he did keep that specific type of hand and didn't make a turn 1 and 2 play. So he may be thinking, or he may have been thinking, I don't have access to white mana. There's a bunch of cards I can draw that I'm not going to be able to cast. I need to end this game. And we'll see both Boros Reckoners attacking.
Now, Adam has a number of options here. His Restoration Angel does not need to get into the fight to have an effect. He can have, for example, block with Augur and then use the Restoration Angel in his hand to flicker that Augur out, which looks like he might be doing. Or he can do the flickering before blocks and then use the Angel as a blocker in combat. There are a couple different options he has here. Looks like he's going to go with the block flicker so that his creature deals no damage, and the one Reckoner will get through for 3 damage.
So he'll take 3 and misses on the Augur.
He is the unluckiest Augur person I've seen in a long time.
He has missed on a few of them. Is it Charm in Adam's hand? Actually, that Is It Charm taking out Knight would allow Adam to attack for 8. So
he can Is It his own Reckoner.
Spear. Well, if he Is-It's the Knight and gets in for 8 and has Searing Spear, as long as Jacob doesn't have anything, which...
I mean, he can just attack with everybody, and whatever the Knight does...
Oh, I guess that's a good point. If the Knight blocks the Reckoner, it's still going to deal 2 damage, so... We'll see what Jacob has, but it looks like Adam might actually be in pretty good shape.
I think he's won this turn unless something exciting happens.
Yeah, despite facing down twice as many Reckoners as he himself had. We'll see if any Faith Shield shenanigans come up. Does Faith Shield, when it is supercharged, give you as well protection from that color?
It does.
Okay, so if he does have Faith Shield, and he right now I believe took 4 damage, plus an additional 2 from the Reckoner.
That's it?
And yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, final hour for Faith's Shield is all of your permanents and you.
So no Faith Shield, and Adam takes that game.
Whew.
Really showing that his decision to race when he had that Boros Reckoner, paying off.
I absolutely would not have raced, and we see Adam taking it down there. This just kind of speaks to my natural inclination towards being a defensive player. Just funny because I've been playing so much mono red aggro for the last few years, but you give me a card like Is It Charm, and I'm looking for how I can defend myself.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is a good example of, Jacob's deck typically being more aggressive, but Adam realizing that in order to win, he had to change his plan a bit. And trading hits with Boros Reckoner allowed him to do that and finish Jacob off with a Searing Spear, even though Adam was pretty outmatched on the board.
Now, Adam, white starved most of that game, even to the point where when he finally got Hallowed Fountain, was willing to pay 2 life just to be able to get access to it immediately, even though he was in a race against 2 Boros Reckoners.
Yeah, and that 2 life ended up, allowing him to cast Restoration Angel, which ultimately probably gained him more than that 2 life in the long run, being able to block and flicker the Augur. But yeah, another decision that he had to make, and in a racing situation, that's a real big choice whether or not to take 2 damage. So, some really solid play by Adam to take that game.
Now, I'm going to say, I actually really like Jacob Aldrich's list. For those of you who are curious about it, it is 23 planes, basic planes, and then 33 creatures, largely on a curve, and 4 blind obedience. And if you ask me, that's really intriguing, mostly because he is almost always going to have a fast, aggressive start. And then his blind obedience, it's going to provide the ability to get that last few points of damage that a white weenie deck traditionally have struggled with.
Yeah, we haven't seen the blind obedience be relevant yet, but it definitely could in this matchup. Dealing those extra points of damage and gaining him life to get him out of burn range. So maybe he could avoid getting Searing Speared. And looks like they're shuffling up. Jacob may have mulliganed, or they may just be still shuffling.
So I'm kind of amused at Jacob's white sleeves. It makes me feel like it's like the littlest, tiniest tell. I can't tell you how often I see somebody with the plain red sleeves and they are playing burn or mono red, and the plain white sleeves and they're playing white weenie. It's actually really common.
Huh. Yeah, then you've got the guy who has the plain white sleeves and he's playing blue-black control. It's just trying to throw you off.
Yep. And now I'm going to tell you, people sometimes put a ton of effort into decisions like that. It's usually not worth the returns because you get so little back from it. But, practice playing Magic is the best returns.
Yep, definitely.
And by that, I mean, for your efforts, the most you can get back in order to get the better result from your game is just playing a lot of good Magic. Adam, on the left, his green Dragon Shields.
Not playing green. But probably not trying to throw anyone off either. And we'll see mulligan from Jacob, and
that is not a face of a man who looks happy.
Adam is going to keep his hand. So a bit of a reversal from game 1 where Adam had to mulligan a couple times. We'll see if Jacob is able to stay with 6.
On the left, Adam Prosak, blue, white, red, flash. On the right, Jacob Aldrich. On the play here with white weenie. This is a mono white deck with 23 planes. And decks that can do well on a mulligan, a tight aggressive deck can sometimes do fairly well on a mulligan. And a part of it is that they have so few things that they actually need to have go right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of redundancy in his list. So lands and spells is going to be mostly the same no matter what lands and spells they are, as long as he has a reasonable curve, which is sort of the one thing he has to consider, and he is going to keep 6 and has no turn 1 play. Adam's going to play a tapped land and pass. And see if he has a turn 2 play this game, and it's a blind obedience. So, you know, a good thing to get down early. Not as much pressure as a creature might be, but getting it down first means all of his subsequent spells, if he has enough mana, are going to drain Adam for 1. And it'll make Adam's potential blockers that he plays just that much slower.
We see down comes the Reckoner. Jacob not waiting, because it's better to have a Reckoner in play than to wait too long to try to get 1 little point of life out of it.
Yeah, in this case, you know, you want to get those advantages where you can, but in this case, getting that Reckoner down earlier is probably going to result in more. And
goodbye, Reckoner, says Desperate Ravings.
Adam's Reckoner is taken by that. I think we see an Augur of Bolas. Yep. And almost a whiff, but
that Augur comes into play
Ravens.
tapped with Blind Obedience.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll notice that. And there they do. Okay.
That is actually another huge part of Blind Obedience being amazing. This one-way quasi-Kismet ability can mean so much more damage for an aggressive deck.
Yeah, right here, you know, Adam's not going to have any
Boom.
blockers. Oh,
Silver
wow.
Blade Paladin, is he going to drain 1 life with that Blind Obedience? Maybe.
So this is going to deal 10 if he pairs them?
Well, he's going to have
11
6
with the...
from the Reckoner, 1 from the Drain, and obviously the Paladin is 6, so...
Right.
But
Paladin
it'll be 11,
doesn't have haste.
7, a total of 10 next turn.
Yeah, for some reason I thought the Paladin had haste, but 10 potential damage. Restoration Angel also interacts kind of poorly with Blind Obedience. If he does choose to blink that Augur before combat, it puts Adam in a situation where he has to either trigger the Augur or blink it, and when he blinks it, it'll come back into play tapped. So Blind Obedience really doing a lot of work, it seems. And
I tell you, Blind Obedience, White Weenie, I think it sounds good.
yeah, Adam with a handful of cards, and
Here they come,
now
threatening
getting
10
attacked
damage.
for as many as 10, yeah. So we'll see what Adam can do against this. It looks like he has an Azurius Charm that I think we'll see cast.
Goodbye, Reckoner.
One of those two. Yeah, Reckoner's going to go. Just going to take the double strike off of the Paladin.
I'll
Yeah,
just
then we're gonna
block.
see a block.
How about we take 0 instead of 10?
Alright, a very good turn for Adam, preventing a ton of damage. We'll see what Jacob can play.
He's thinking about a Sublime Archangel, I think. Land first, which he can do. Sublime Archangel and maybe a little Drain. And they're best friends. Yep. 11 to 21. Sublime Archangel is white 2 for a 4/3 flyer that has Exalted, and then also, if a creature attacks alone, or pardon me, and all of your creatures also gain Exalted. Well,
Right. And looks like Adam just drew a Searing Spear, which can take care of that Angel. Though he does know there's a Reckoner on top of Jacob's deck.
Yep. He takes out the Sunblade Paladin, or yeah, the Paladin.
He took out the Paladin with an Izzet Charm at the end of Jacob's turn. So things not too bad for Adam, although because he put the Reckoner on top with the Charm, he knows it's going to get recast soon.
Adam asks how many cards Jacob has. 1 card, Jacob answers. And he knows the top is Boros Reckoner. He does not know what is in Jacob's hand. Attack for 1, Jacob takes it.
And just having played that Izzet Charm, it's going to put into Jacob's head the thought of 2 damage to a creature, and so Jacob will just let that augur through. Not to mention Pillar of Flame also being an option.
Paladin and paired, best friends forever.
And a Drain, putting Adam to 10. I imagine we're going to see a Searing Spear in response to these Exalted triggers.
Lots of potential triggery triggers. And let's not let that happen.
So Adam chooses not to take 12 or so damage. And
Arbitrary large amount.
yeah. And so Jacob, I think, has one card in hand and
It's a Reckoner too.
Right, he has a Reckoner in hand and the Paladin. So Adam's not out of the woods yet, but
things look pretty solid for him. Is that a Snapcaster? Nope, it's a Thought Scour.
Thought Scour.
He does have a
Boros Charm.
Snappy though.
So we're really seeing here these Boros Charms. I believe he had one in one or both of the last games. Not quite doing exactly what I think he hoped they would. Going to the dome for 4 and really making Adam's ability to race more effective. So we'll see Reckoner again and a Drain for 1.
And they are best friends forever. In comes the Paladin. Block.
And
Angel. Flicker it away.
Okay.
Comes back.
And another miss.
Nothing. Whiff, 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 whiff.
So a bunch of misses on Augur for Adam, and it looked like it might have been a Detention Sphere that he drew, or some gold card, maybe an Azurius Charm.
Now in his hand, Snapcaster, amongst many other spells. So he can Snapcaster Azorius Charm the Reckoner to the top once again.
Jacob's gonna play a Witchbane Orb, I think.
That looks to me like a Witchbane Orb. Let's see if we can get closer to that. And
he does have that card in his sideboard, so
that is a Witchbane Orb.
Yep.
So he probably brought this in as a means to fight the race situation that Adam presented before, where he was burned out at the end.
And between Witchbane Orb and Blind Obedience, he's got, a pretty good ability to just drain this game out, not having to worry about taking a bunch of damage via burn spells. So we'll see what Adam can do with the Boros Charms that he has now that they can't target Jacob. And they're either discussing something or Adam's trying to figure out if he can attack profitably.
I think we're looking at end of turn effects. We see a Snapcaster. Thought Scour.
And thinking about making the most of his mana.
He Thought Scour.
There's a Desperate Ravings in his graveyard that he could potentially flash back. He's got that Snapcaster Mage. It looks like he also has a Desperate Ravings in hand.
Snapcaster. Searing Spear on Boros Reckoner.
So the Reckoner will do 3 to something.
I think he's doing it to Adam's face.
Looks like that is the play he made. We've seen a lot of Reckoners choose to go to the face instead of killing a creature when they could have. So, pretty aggressive.
I mean, Adam is at 5 life with a Blind Obedience in play, so... In comes the team. Well, not the Augur. In comes an Angel and a Snapcaster Mage. Take 5. And it looks like Moorland Haunt has joined the team. And Jacob, I think, has just said go for his turn. And we see Desperate Ravings flashed back.
And we'll see what Adam has to discard, but pretty close game. Adam has a decent amount of control, but he is at 5, and
goodbye extraneous land.
So,
and
looks like he picked up a couple of spells off that, at least one.
A Spirit gonna join the team? Yep, he makes a Spirit with Moorland Haunt.
So this
Brad Nelson Spirit.
Your favorite token.
That's my favorite, my favorite of that cycle of tokens.
I guess it's also your favorite Brad Nelson token. Probably. And,
It's also my favorite human token. Okay.
Pillar of Flame removes the Silverblade Paladin. And we'll see Adam's gonna come in for 4, 5, 6, 7. And uses an Azurius Charm, I believe, with the lifelink mode.
This is going to pull him up quite a bit of life.
So he'll be going up to 12, which is mostly out of range of Blind Obedience, I would say. And passes the turn. And from Jacob, we have a Sublime Archangel. Not nearly as good on defense.
This game has turned the corner. Jacob drains Adam for 1, reversing their life total so that Adam is at 11, Jacob's at 12. But right now, the board looks like it's Adam's. He has a lot of stuff going on, and Jacob's life is dwindling very fast.
Yeah, and quite a few cards in hand, so I'd be surprised if Adam didn't have more answers. Another Spirit token, this time a Jerry Thompson one, who is currently, last we checked, 10-1 at the Pro Tour. So go him. And you see another Desperate Ravings, a Boros Charm.
In comes the team.
And attacking with everyone. So this is 8, and you know, again, a situation where one power creature is attacking. Jacob has to choose whether or not to block with his Archangel. If he does, it potentially turns on Pillar of Flame and Is It Charm to finish the Archangel off. So we'll see what he chooses to do. He is taking a lot of damage, and he chooses to block the Snapcaster Mage. We'll see what Adam has.
He's thinking perhaps about Snapcaster plus Azorius Charm, I could see. He's also got the Indestructible mode on Boros Charm, or the Double Strike mode on Boros Charm.
So, it looks like he went with the... No?
Double Strike.
Double Strike.
He's like, just get that angel off the table.
Yeah, he gave the Snapcaster Double Strike.
Yep, Snapcaster gets Double Strike. And he follows up with an Augur.
Another Augur, so we'll see if he hits this time.
Nope.
And miss again.
Adam is really, really bad at casting Augur of Bolas. It's amazing. 1-3 for 2, done. Nothing else. That's all you need.
Fortunately for him, he hasn't needed the cards. Not yet,
anyway.
And
Jacob's like, that's it. That's all she wrote.
Yep, so Jacob with just a handful of planes concedes that game. And Adam takes the match 2-1 to advance to 4-0.
Yeah, Adam, just one of our many players that you might recognize